Hey Englishton, this is Mr. B. I want to take a moment to check in and offer some encouragement, but first I'm going to talk about the various vehicles I've had. It's a strange, awkward history, but I hope you enjoy. I promise this will connect to class in the end, so just indulge me for a moment. As noted, I have experienced quite a few car problems. I remind myself strangely of Charon, the Greek mythological figure who ferries souls across the river Styx to their final resting place, aka death. Like a mechanically inept Charon, I have ferried many cars to their death. My first car, for example, was a green Pontiac Bonneville, and it died within months of purchasing it at a low budget dealership that only accepted cash. My next car was a Lumina that died shortly after the tire fell off on my way to school, which would have been fine, but my friend and I were doing an English project that day, a mashup of Alice in Wonderland and Russian writer Anton Chekhov, so I was dressed like an 1800s Russian. He was in a full body rabbit costume on the side of the road. It was weird. Then I drove a maroon GMC, another hand-me-down, that had steering so loose a 90-degree turn was required to change lanes. The Safari also died. Then it was a Chrysler Voyager. My friends and I painted white with interior house paint for our high school graduation open house. Guests signed the van instead of the guest book, but later, when it rained, the paint bubbled and slid down the side of the rusted metal van like a sad, thin sheet of snow. When that vehicle died, I briefly owned a Honda Civic. This secondhand vehicle was legendary in my family. My brother drove it for 3 to 4 years. My sister drove it for 3 to 4 years. My cousin drove it for 3 to 4 years. I drove it for 15 minutes, literally, before smoke started spewing from the engine. In college, I drove a 1984 Ford Taurus. This was my favorite by far. This beautiful car accomplished road trips to North Carolina and Texas. The back left door didn't latch, so I secured it with duct tape on the outside and rope on the inside. In the summer, the rope became loose and the duct tape crinkled off, so I had to reach back and grab the rope every time I turned to keep my door from opening on busy roads. The point is, on all the cases, things did not work out as planned, and often it made me a little more than angry at technology. But because I spent so much time relying on the generosity of friends to get from point A to point B, I became acutely aware of others, that everyone around me was going through things. There's a word for this, coined by writer John Koenig, Sonder. It is the emotion of being aware that everyone around you has their own story. And I want to take a quick moment to let you know that I appreciate you as individuals. To the extent that I understand them, I appreciate your stories. You are brilliant. You have already done some brilliant things this year, whether you acknowledge it or not, and I hope you are proud of yourself. As always, know that you are strong, you are important, and you are never alone. There are a lot of people with their own stories walking around you who are going through similar things. Thank you for being great.